Controversy is for some reason always a part of gaming. From Sony fans mad over a puddle in Spider-Man 4, to journalists and casual gamers demanding an easy mode in every From Software game, we have seen the landscape of gaming become downright annoying. With that being said, it's not often that the players who demand an easy mode for FromSoft games get their wish. It doesn't happen often that a company known for brutally difficult boss fights nerfed a boss fight. But with this one, they did just that, stirring up plenty of discussion along the way. Why did this happen? Who is this boss? And more importantly, how did the nerf come to be? Welcome to a full history lesson on Elden Ring's most controversial boss fight, General Radahn. Along the journey of Elden Ring comes the choice to take your first steps into Caelid. Now, normally, nobody recommends this path, but if it's your first time playing Elden Ring and you're not looking for a guide on where to go, you could definitely end up here, and I'm sure plenty of you watching this accidentally came here on your first playthrough. The warning signs are all over the place. Swords of battle, a wall in the way, hell, the sky turns red. And one detail I'm not sure you noticed is the eerie music transition going from peaceful to downright terrifying. Caelid became a fan favorite area because everyone loved the scenic views. A nice walk on the beach with their dog, a lake view, taking in those nice smells of rot. There's wanderers on fire with no sense to put it out. And of course, the dragons. In all seriousness, Caelid is the latest entry into From Software's library of poisonous swamps. Yes, Miyazaki, just because you made it red doesn't mean it's not a poison swamp. Every time, I swear. Unless you're Iron Pineapple or Zero Lenny, chances are you got bonked on the way through Caelid. This is one of a few optional areas in the game, but if there's one thing I've learned watching and playing FromSoft games, it's that the community doesn't care about that. In fact, we'd rather jump full speed in because there's that challenge. Caelid is the definition of the bad ending, but the story could have been so different had the Protector of the Stars been able to win his grand battle. In ages past, many warriors journeyed to the Caelid wilds to hone their strength. Caelid was the historical stronghold of the demigod that reigns supreme over the stars, General Radahn. The Caelid we see in the game has been marred beyond rescue. As a result of the battle between the goddess of Rot, Malenia, and the protector of Caelid, General Radahn, Caelid became rotted. Radahn was defeated in a draw to Malenia, but the Rot had done all the damage to the core water supply of Caelid, the Onsel River, and created the Lake of Rot. East of the Swamp of Aeonia lies Sellia, town of sorcery. It was here that Radahn learned gravitational magic in his youth. The town is still intact and guarded from those who would steal its magic. Along the southeast portion of Caelid is the last hope against the Scarlet Rot, Redmane Castle. It's here where the old seat of the general was once held, and now protected by his supporters waging a losing war on the creatures of the Scarlet Rot. If you come to Caelid, and more specifically Redmane Castle, very early, there is a boss fight, but it's not General Radahn.
Let's go. No more bitching. This fight, though. This fight.
Wait, another boss just popped up? What is that? Crucible Knight.
No! Ah! I don't like this fight!
Oh, he's flying? That's not even fair. That's not fair at all.
Die! Die! I killed you! Die!
Once these two are dead, you'd think the main fight would begin. But that's not the case, and instead you meet this handsome devil, Knight Jaren.
A celebration of war! The Radahn Festival!
So, how do you start the fight? Well, you need to speak to Ranni the Witch all the way over here in Ranni's Rise. Once you speak to her, you speak to Blaidd, Iji, and Celavis, then you can fight. Immediately, you can feel the intensity of this boss fight about to happen as the Radahn festival begins.
Champions, prepare for battle!
There's so much emotion that adds to this area when you know more about the people who are hosting the festival. You and Blaidd are there to kill Radahn in service of Ranni. This maiden is probably here because Celavis is a coward and sent her instead, while Jaren and the rest of the people around the festival are there to put their beloved general to rest and free him from the very rot that lost them the war. Anyone who went here just knew it was about to be a magical fight, and when you finally reach the battlefield, that cutscene said it all.
Oh man, this is intense.
Big surprise. Big boy won.
Oh, God.
Now he gathers the corpses of former friends and foes alike, gorging on them like a dog.
Okay, we lost. There's no way we beat this motherfucker. Because I think we're under level for this area, but maybe I'm wrong. Who knows?
On the battlefield is this massive boss that just beat the hell out of you before you could even get close. These arrows are what starts the fight, needing precise timing to dodge. Whether you chose to summon or not, Radahn at release did not care and would still launch a barrage of arrows afterwards. Immediately questions of, how do I beat Radahn? Were popping up all over the internet. And when you get a boss the size of the Eiffel Tower throwing arrows like popcorn at you, you probably ask the same thing. About 25% into the fight, you begin phase 2, where Radahn pulls out a meteorite and coats his blade in it. These attacks are really brutal and definitely caused a lot of frustration amongst the community for the complaint of the absurdly large hitboxes. What a lot of players didn't realize on release is that this boss attacks you in a 360 space, meaning you can't get used to dodging to one side or another, or you'll pay.
Like, he's just spinning and he just keeps spinning. It'll never stop. Like, the man will not stop spinning. It just keeps, and it never stops. But why?
It's also one of the only main bosses that allows the freedom of using your horse. But I know what you're thinking. All these attacks, while cool, pale in comparison to one.
I don't like that. Hello?
What the fuck? No! What the fuck?
What the fuck? What the fuck was that? That's a meteorite, man.
They call him Commander of the Stars for a reason! I'm not gonna lie, this one caught me off guard so much the first time I faced him. And you know what? I think it's fair to say, this is the most insane attack in all of Elden Ring, for the pure spectacle alone. The internet would make all sorts of homages to this exact attack, as everyone tipped their controllers and said, "Ma general." One detail you might have missed with this attack is that Radahn changes the time of day when hurling down from the sky, maybe even taking our star, the sun, with him? Can't be 100% on why the time of day changes, but I love that the final phase is at moonlight, where you can see the stars in the sky. After this, the boss just goes into thermonuclear mode, so you best be ready to use all the stuff in your arsenal against him. Attacks that were gravity magic before now have constant floating meteorites. Where Radahn was stable and riding his horse around before, he is now turned into a flying drill, slicing through the air. Calls to nerf this fight were starting to take over the internet, and word was spreading that Elden Ring's hardest boss was a fight you could do pretty early into the game. For the players that did eventually beat Radahn, summons or not, the fight was the ultimate cinematic.
Come on, back over. It's time to die, bruh. Let's go. Where you at, motherfucker? F you. On my I don't need summons. I don't need anything. I don't need a damn motherfucking thing. I just beat him.
Now, Radahn has one weakness that I'm sure you can guess. The Scarlet Rot. Using any form of rot infection would make your time a lot easier, but clearly it just won't be free. Players were resorting to cheesing the boss by using rot breath and sitting in a corner while his health would whittle down and the NPCs attacking him. So yeah, you could definitely win this fight and release. Just hide in the corner and let everyone else do the fighting for you. Imagine being an early game first time player and hopping to this fight around level 30 or 40 when it's recommended to be at least 70 or 80. Yeah, couldn't be me, right? After many attempts, finally slaying him, something even more magical happens with this boss arena. Radahn's remembrance is one of the best out there, as his great swords, which are important for one of the best rune farms and are just great weapons in general for any strength build, are just insane. Or you can use his great bow, which is also incredibly powerful. His great rune isn't the best out of all of them in my opinion, but it's still worth picking up. So now you have unleashed the stars back into the world on their path. And for some reason, Radahn was protecting the world from something. But that something isn't on topic for this video. What is on topic is what FromSoft did to this boss. In patch 1.03, Radahn saw a heavy nerf to the fight, leading controversy to ensue. Radahn was always one of the hardest bosses, but fans were pretty split on the nerf, with a lot pointing to the idea that enough players complained that Radahn was too strong, leading FromSoft to nerf him? If there's anything I've learned about the company that made the Bed of Chaos, Orphan of Kos, Nameless King, and more, they wouldn't just nerf a boss because fans were unhappy, right? What do you think? Miyazaki has been notorious for saying that he doesn't read anything about his games after they are released. He doesn't even play them when they're done. So either someone else in HQ got annoyed with the fight, or it was due to fan outcry. The nerf saw Radahn lose 40% of his weapon hitbox, losing 10% melee damage. Some hitboxes on the explosion and projectiles were now smaller and would grow slower. And finally, a very annoying portion of Radahn's attacks, the homing orbs, were now heavily changed to make Radahn's fight a whole lot more forgiving. Longtime Souls fans were not happy at all, blaming the mainstream attention Elden Ring had attracted for the reasons fights like Radahn would never get the same level of challenge again. Wherever you stood on this, it was odd since Elden Ring hadn't been out for that long. This nerf coming in March, less than a month after release.
Do we win?
I Beat Radahn pre-nerf became the new badge of honor amongst the community.
He was a f***ing monster back in the day. It took me at least half a week of nights to beat him. That was with summoning everyone I could and then using rotten breath. He would kill everyone before getting to the second phase easily. Then it was running for my life trying to do anything I could. The first time I beat him it really felt like I did something. But that was a long time ago.
But just when players thought Radahn was going to be nerfed forever, something even more unbelievable than a 100-foot general riding a small dying horse and flying from the sky happened, putting all the controversy to shame. In update 1.03.3, FromSoft just said that they fixed him. Quote, fixed a bug in the balance adjustment of the boss, Starscourge Radahn, in Update 1.03, in which the power of some attacks was unintentionally reduced. The internet was up in arms again, but for the Elden Ring community, this was seen as a massive win to rally back against the controversy. What's poetic is that Malenia was accidentally buffed and then later nerfed back to normal. So it looks like the battle continues on equal footing for those two. So Radahn is back to normal Star Scourge Radahn, right? Well, not exactly. It seems that although Radahn is fixed, some claim that he's still far weaker than he used to be, claiming that the hitboxes are different now. So I want to ask you, if you played Elden Ring when it first came out, and you have now, is Radahn noticeably easier? Is he the same? Maybe you're better than before. Leave me a comment. Star Scourge Radahn has a name as commanding as the stars he watches over. The strongest demigod of them all. Weakening, but not killing, the goddess of that rot. Caelid is forever plagued, but the people of Caelid, more specifically those who still fight against that rot, will always sing the song of their general, nerfed or not. Here's to one of the best bosses of all time. If you're new here, welcome. I love covering community stories and exciting things happening in my favorite games, like Elden Ring. So if that's something you want to watch, consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching and have a great day. And enjoy some bloopers.
Ain't no way I do all that and then he leave. What?